I feel like I forgot to do something. Hello. Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast, where we talk about maybe a good episode of Raw today.
I thought it was worse than last week, but
Really? I thought today was like fun. I had fun today.
it was alright. I'm trying to remember everything that happened last week. Um. Oh, last week was Okay, yeah, this was definitely worse than last week because last week we had that fantastic Drew McIntyre AJ Styles Riddle match. Um. Plus that the last Ricochet and John Morrison match. Yeah, I thought this was the worst of the two.
Our definitions of fun are very, 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 very
Yeah,
different.
sorry. I like good matches.
I didn't know, or if I knew what hanging up would do to this call, I would just do it. I don't know if it's gonna fuck everything up,
Oh,
so
it
I won't.
would. It would. I'm just giving my opinion. I think this one was worse than the last Raw. Um, but this and the last Raw were both worse than the one before it. From what was the date? June 21st.
Okay, but you're going by matches.
Well, yeah, but matches also. I also judge matches based on the context around them and the storylines involved.
This is the first Raw that I've watched that like I did not sit there and I wasn't like counting the minutes down.
Mm-hmm.
The first time where Raw ended, I was like, oh fuck,
Mm.
3 hours.
I thought the main event today was pretty weak, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. I really enjoyed tonight though. I really did.
To give a little recap, um, the main event was New Day versus Bobby Lashley and MVP. First time MVP returned to the ring in a while. I think he's had 3 other
Months.
matches this year. But yeah, it's been months because of his knee injury from MMA or something. Oh no, it was jujitsu, wasn't it? Something like that. Um, but he had his in-ring return, brought back the ball and elbow. Um, a bunch of stuff was announced for next week, including the singles debut of Omos. What?
Touch my bun.
What?
My bun when I
Oh,
raise my eyebrows.
I don't see anything.
Can't see it moving.
No, it's also cut off.
It's not gonna work from here.
Oh, okay, I see it. Oh, I'm so glad you're entertained by this. Um, yeah, a bunch of stuff announced next week. Singles debut of Omos. John Morrison Ricochet ending their bouts with a Falls Count Anywhere match. Sheamus will also defend the United States Championship against Humberto. And then 2 weeks from now, AJ and Omos will defend their tag title against Viking Raiders. So that number one contendership will finally mean something the episode after Money in the Bank. I feel like that's something they could just use for the pre-show, but whatever. Um,
Um,
hmm.
wanted to said I was gonna wear this, but it's too hot and this is
Yeah,
way
it'll be
too heavy.
way too hot for that.
This is the 4th of July shirt I was talking about with all the dogs. Their 4th of July gear.
Yep,
But yeah, it's fucking hot, so I decided not to wear it.
that's fair. We don't want you passing out in the middle of the podcast.
Imagine. I just went. It's that
um,
girl in America's Next Top Model that fainted in the middle of America's Next Top Model.
yeah, that. Um, let's see what else happened today. Had what happened today? Medical update from Charlotte Flair. We got minimal Charlotte and Rhea, but what we got of Charlotte and Rhea made literally 0 sense and was stupid.
Yeah, Willy Wonkied.
For no reason. Like I was thinking about that and I tweeted about it. Why did Charlotte pretend to be injured only to quickly throw away her crutch? Like there's no reason. Why did she do that? Was she trying to get Rhea suspended?
Rhea out. Oh.
But no officials came out. Like, she wasn't making an argument for Rhea to be suspended. She was making an argument for why Rhea's good now. You know? She called her a genius. I really don't. I mean, was she trying to garner sympathy?
Not sure.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that like maybe Night was so good in my opinion because we really did not get much of that.
Yeah,
because that's been the low point of a lot of episodes lately.
Yeah. We started with Miz TV, which was fucking chaotic. Did not like that. We got Ricochet and John Morrison. We had Jinder wrestling Drew McIntyre, starting up that feud, it seems like, which is awesome. But we also got Nikki, Asuka, Naomi, and Alexa Bliss against Nia Jax, Shayna, Eva Marie, and Piper Niven. I refuse to call her Doudrop. That was not a good match at all.
It was a really bad match.
But Nia proved to be the best part about that whole feud.
Yes. And also, like, I kind of like that it feels like Nia and Piper had, like, sort of a moment in the ring where they were both, like... Because Nia's been the only one on the main roster that's been able to use her body in the same way that, like, the guys would. Yeah. And it was kind of cool to see that Piper kind of had that other person.
Mm-hmm.
Nia's kind of... She's been treated like the odd one out sometimes, and it's like, camaraderie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other instances, but nothing's coming to mind. And then, speaking of bad matches, R-Truth and Jackson Ryker versus Elias and Cedric Alexander.
Why would you even bring it up? We're not going to talk about that shit.
We are covering the episode. We need to talk about how low of a point that match was. So bad. The 24/7 belt proved once again why it sucks. Took R-Truth right out of the match. Elias ran away from the match without even being in it. And so what started as a tag team match ended up being a singles match, which lasted 4 seconds.
Once again, I guess maybe it's in his contract that he's not allowed to fight white guys.
And besides Elias,
he hasn't fought him yet.
Yes, he has. Strap match.
The strap match. You're right. But man, I'm tired of Jackson Ryker beating up.
I just can't wait for crowds to hate him. I can't wait. Well, although the first place is Texas, right? Is that the first venue?
Houston, I think.
Houston. Well, no. Where's Money in the Bank? That's Fort Worth, right?
I don't think so.
Pretty sure it is. Or am I thinking of AEW? No, AEW is gonna be in Florida.
Yeah.
Let's see. WWE Tour locations. Let's see what comes up. I don't. Mickey James meet and greet. That's not WWE. Okay. Yeah. July 16th, Toyota Center, Houston.
To be fair, still a chance.
I mean, I also feel like people wouldn't cheer him on because they're not, like, he doesn't show any semblance of being a face. They're pushing him to be a face, but he will be booed like a heel because he's acting like one.
Yeah, there's not a single point. Like, they're not even trying to really make him a face either. Like, they put him with R-Truth, but they couldn't even stick to that.
Like, if Cody Rhodes, at, I think it was Double or Nothing, got like half cheers, half boos. I mean, he's put together pretty well in terms of character. Riker, who's got really like nothing going for him right now. I can't see any reason he would be cheered besides the fact that he's a veteran. But just continuing the recap, we'll go more in depth on our opinions of everything once we get through the episode. Had a great match between Ali and Mansoor. That was fantastic. Let's see. AJ Styles and Riddle had a great match that had a poor ending. That ending sucked. I am tired of how the Viking Raiders are not making any argument for them to be cheered on. Like, come on. They're gonna they're gonna be on the first Raw with a crowd, and their whole thing is just attacking Omos during matches. That's lame.
The thing is that they were built up pretty well.
Yeah, they had a fantastic return. They were dominating to begin with. They both survived that tag team battle royal. And then they just resorted to attacking Omos repeatedly.
It's funny because like I was watching AJ and Omos and I was like, it's interesting. They haven't really had anybody challenging them for the belts. They forgot about Viking Raiders as an entire entity.
And I think one of them was injured after WrestleMania. I think that's why there's been a long period of time without them being challenged. But that's basically everything from this episode. We'll go more in depth once we get to the recap. But Liz, would you like to move to the news?
I would. Which first time basically ever that I forgot to write the news down. So.
Wow.
Not great. It's fine, because we've got 4 pieces of news, and none of them are really that interesting.
I've got the thing on Candy Floss, if you want me to talk about that.
Yeah, I'll save that for last, because that's probably the most interesting.
Okay.
As far as a news piece is concerned. Okay. So, let's start with, Darby Allin, who trademarked his ring name, finally. And I guess like a lot of people were kind of waiting on that to happen because he hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
So now it can be used solely by him for merchandising. That's something. The other piece of news that we have is that Kevin Nash is going to be the next person to appear on the Broken Skull sessions, and I'm really excited for that because Kevin Nash. And in addition to that, right now it looks like of the 9,600 tickets that have been distributed for Money in the Bank, only 278 tickets remain. Which is pretty decent.
How many tickets? Wait, say that one more time.
Of 9,600 tickets that have been put up for sale,
yeah,
278 remain.
Oh, okay.
That was as of, I believe, yesterday.
I mean, yeah, people want to show up for that Kofi Bobby match.
Yeah, and I don't blame them.
But I want to know the numbers of how many people are buying tickets for Raw. That I want to know.
I think we'll find out. And the stadium is half full.
Yeah. They'll be giving out tickets. I feel
they're
like
lucky.
Part of me worries that like they're gonna worry so much about who's over with the crowd that they'll continue feeding in crowd noises, even with the crowd there.
This is something I've thought about. I would hope not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our last piece of news is just if you did not watch 205 Live, we have 2 spots for the upcoming breakout tournament filled, and that is by Andre Chase and Joe Gacy.
Yeah.
Which, are you shocked? I'm fucking not.
I was shocked Andre Chase beat Guru Raj. I would have thought Raj would have come out since he's already been in a big match.
Who did he fight?
He fought Finn Balor at the Superstar Showdown or whatever it was. The whole Indian
thing. Yeah.
He literally fought Finn Balor.
I have literally no memory of that entire pay-per-view.
I remember it. Also,
the only thing I remember is like the big dance thing that they did. That was really pretty.
And then Drew McIntyre and somebody else facing Indus Sher.
I know Dilsher Shanky was one of them.
Right. Yeah.
Wasn't it Jinder and Indus Sher and Drew, Dilsher, and
someone else?
Someone else.
Yeah. They haven't exactly done a good job of putting over those names since then.
Well, maybe they're still building up NXT India.
Yeah. Also, in other news, Tegan Knox apparently is cleared for wrestling, and she had a dark match today against Toni Storm before Raw.
Whatever. Well, that's our battery promo explained. Now I'm...
Well, I actually don't know about that. Because, like I said, she had a dark match against Toni Storm before Raw. So they might be exploring her for the main roster.
I want the battery to be somebody we don't really know.
Kona Reeves?
Yeah, like, so not somebody that we don't know, but somebody that, like, is not being talked about, I guess. Is not being, like, yeah. Because I feel like Tegan isn't a surprise. Tegan has to come back sooner or later.
Moose.
Yeah, probably Moose. After that last fight, after he beat up Chris Sabin, he was like, and I'm done.
I genuinely hope it's just Austin Theory's like phone charging really slow.
Do you know how mad people would be? Because people already fucking hate him. So people would be like,
yeah, that'd be so funny. Like I would give that whole episode like a 10 out of 10 if they do that. We'll find out tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
Also, the last piece of news is Candy Floss opened up about incidents regarding the speaking out movement. For those who don't know, Candy Floss is an NXT UK talent who is out right now due to mental health. She is in a relationship with Spike Trivet, but I don't know if he is in association with what she's saying here. But what she said, I will summarize it and paraphrase. So basically, she's struggling with some personal issues and has been for a while. People thought she was being abused by her partner, who she kept unnamed. She checked in with a social worker, aka a safeguard consultant, as she put it. That social worker investigated her and her partner's relationship, basically did a whole inventory on her life, confirmed she is not being abused, and helped her get whatever mental health support she needed. And she said she's okay. Her consultant vouches for it and does a good job, and does such a good job that wrestling companies hire the consultant themselves. But still, nobody believes her or the consultant. No matter what they say, her partner is still getting unbooked from places. One of which she names is Progress Wrestling. And is still suspected of being an abuser while no one's listening to her. And it's impacting both her mental health and her partner's ability to make a living, so it's not a good situation at all. It's like, oh, everything's there. Like, she says she's fine. Her consultant says she's fine. And those are the people that you need to believe. And you notice there's no response from the partner in question, which is kind of, I think, in my opinion, a good thing right now, because Candy Floss is the one we should be hearing from.
I think it's just incredible to me that these people who like have actually done bad shit have verifiably, for the most part, done bad shit.
Yeah.
Get booked constantly, all the time. Then there's people who, according to the people in their lives, specifically their girlfriend, the literal social worker.
She doesn't specify girlfriend, fiance, whatever.
Their partner and a social worker both like, no, nothing's happening there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And somehow,
yeah, it's a really messed up situation. It's also like one of those examples of a false accusation, but not one that's done for horrible reasons. Like she gave this, actually she didn't even make a false accusation because people were just assuming it.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, obviously, like, the believe victims thing is important, because you should.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've ever heard of somebody being placed as a victim when they're like,
yeah,
well, I'm not.
Well,
first time I'm hearing that.
The thing is, she didn't initially say that she wasn't a victim, which is good that what did she call it? Safeguard consultant came in, like a professional came in and assessed the situation, which a lot of abuse victims don't even realize they're being abused.
It's true.
They're gaslit and manipulated into believing that they're the ones in the wrong.
Yes, that is unfortunately true. But you know, it just sucks because like they're doing the most for somebody that hasn't done anything bad when there's people that have done bad things that aren't getting in trouble at all.
Yeah.
The point where like there's court cases involving them.
This energy could be put elsewhere.
Yeah, like we're using this for the wrong shit right now. It's really incredible.
But that's all the news. Pretty light weekend of news.
Yeah, I was shocked that there was like nothing.
That's a good thing, because if it was something big, it would be releases.
Yeah. Normally it's like on Mondays and Fridays I have a lot of news.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow I might not have any. Oh fuck.
All right, so.
Oh fuck.
This is a dense episode. We started off with Miz TV, and I like when we start off with Miz TV because we get that shittiness out of the way.
Dude, some people think this shit is a laugh riot, and I just don't get it. I want to feel that way. I really do.
I mean, I have been loving everything the Miz does since he got injured, because he's been making the whole wheelchair thing $1 million. But Miz TV has never been It's never been great. The dirt sheet's been a lot better. I miss the dirt sheet.
I miss the dirt sheet too.
I used to not think there was a difference, but there is a clear difference. And I'm somebody
Dirt sheet was
who
always so much fun.
I used to be a fan of the Miz like a year ago.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever really liked him that much. I don't like him much at all. It's just funny because, like, our mutual friend Sarah, she used to love him. And it was one of those things where, like, we were talking about it, and I was like, of all people.
Well, there are a few people who are better on the mic than him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. He is really good on the mic. It's just, I do miss older Miz. I feel like a couple of years ago, he was more exciting to watch and more interesting.
I think that's when he was going for big titles. Now,
I was just kind of mid card.
Yeah, he's been really embracing that chicken shit heel persona.
Think we'll ever see a face turn for the Miz?
No, the Miz, they did a face turn with him, but I think the real greatness with him is when he's a heel, because he does
Some
it
people
so
I feel
well.
like, some people that I feel like are just perma heels.
Yeah, like Dolph Ziggler.
Imagine Dolph Ziggler face turn.
I'm sure it's happened.
I'm saying imagine it now.
I think Elias has always been. Oh no, Elias was a face for a little bit.
Oh, and he had that
Corbin.
Bailey story.
Did he?
Yeah, there was like a storyline where they were kind of implying like they were flirting. It was kind of cute. It was like really good.
All right. Well, going back to the episode, Miz TV. Miz introduces John Morrison. Morrison says Johnny Drip Drip is gonna rain pain in front of a live audience. The Aquaholics are thirsty to see me as dinero in the bank holder. Then Drew McIntyre comes out. Miz introduces him as the man he cashed in on with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Drew says, "You did cash in on me successfully. After I won Elimination Chamber. After Lashley attacked me from behind. Since that day, I haven't stopped my fight to the top. Did you know I'm a distant relative of Davy Crockett? We're known for our legendary stories, us Scots. And at Money in the Bank, I'm going to make another one. I'm going to make sure you're extra moist. Miz, you'll be telling the legendary story of how I shoved John Morrison's head right up Miz's ass." Morrison said, "You can kick the ocean, but all you're gonna get is wet." And then Ricochet comes out. Miz gets angry. Oh, Miz says, "Ricochet, you couldn't bother to wait until I introduced you. You were lucky that match ended in a double countout. That could have cost both of your careers." I do love that he was like that was just a stupid move you did because you could have gotten horribly hurt. It wasn't like, oh, you hurt Morrison. Like, you hurt both of you. You both could have been in a bad spot. Ricochet says, "I'm actually still a little shook, and I know Johnny is too. That's just a little taste of what I'm willing to do, even if I have to use you and your wheelchair I think he said as a battering ram or something." I like this push for Ricochet. He's being pushed more in the main event spot.
I just miss the regular Ricochet outfit.
His old gear, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like he has opened up.
That's the word.
He's definitely opened up a little bit since he changed to the casual fit.
Yeah, I guess that's a point.
I think he just may find a little more comfort.
I guess I just miss, like, knowing what the fuck his gimmick was.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and every other mid-carder.
Yeah, well.
Let's see. Miz says, powerful words, let's see if you can back them up. Riddle then comes out. Miz says, Riddle, perhaps you can enlighten us on your attempt to fight on Randy's behalf. Riddle grabs a ladder and sits on top of it. He said, isn't this what we all should be doing for Money in the Bank? I let my bro down last week. I'm going to dedicate my performance at Money in the Bank to my best friend, Randy Orton. Afterwards, I'm going to take you out for some delicious food. And I forget who yelled at him, but somebody yelled at him to shut up. I think it was Drew. Oh, no. It was The Miz. And then Drew said, you've been a very good friend to Randy, Riddle.
No, because Miz said, why hasn't Randy done something? I don't know, but he was right. Had a point.
But I do like that Drew's like, you've been a good friend to Randy, because Drew, after that long ass feud with Randy, knows that he needs a friend. And it's a nice I guess a nice callback is what you might call it.
Can I just say something about Drew?
What?
People, and me included, because I've made jokes about it, and we talked about this, but sort of not like after we talked about it, I'm sort of not hating the weird Drew McIntyre history buff.
Yeah, it adds a little more to him being a face, because he used to be just generic face. Now he's like face, but his power comes from his lineage and him being a Scot.
Like, so many people give him so much flack, and it's like, well, first of all, he's not really in charge of this shit. To a degree he is, but like, just,
I mean, he doesn't control his booking.
Right. Like, at least he's trying something.
Yeah. He puts his all into everything, like every match, every promo.
I mean, this is basically his life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just had to make that comment. Tentatively getting back on the Drew train.
Yeah. He definitely needed to step away from the main event scene. And hopefully he doesn't win at Money in the Bank so we can continue getting these great explorations of his character.
If he doesn't win Money in the Bank, I'm finally going to be back in my like Drew McIntyre phase.
Yeah.
Turn him back on him. Let him get over on me.
Yeah. But Miz says, I can't wait for Jinder Mahal to ragdoll you in your match tonight, which we popped for because we've been waiting for a Drew Jinder match. AJ Styles then comes out, and now we got a whole gang here. AJ says, you don't speak for everyone, Miz. I was robbed of my opportunity. Randy Orton dropped out of the qualifying match, therefore there shouldn't have been a triple threat match. It should be one-on-one between me and Drew. Between Drew and AJ. I don't know why he said his name in the third person. But no. I don't know what the fuck I wrote. It didn't need to have a triple threat match. I was not pinned in. If anyone deserves to be in the ladder match, it's me. It was Riddle that got pinned in that triple threat, so this is all his fault. Riddle says, hey Skipper, you look so cute and little down there. Hey Omos, you're almost my height. Omos tips over the ladder, causing Riddle to fall down. AJ kicks Riddle's injured foot. John Morrison then attacks Ricochet, but Ricochet throws Morrison out of the ring. Drew McIntyre knocks Omos out of the ring, which was something that was kind of glossed over, but that's like the first time that's been done.
Yeah. I noticed that and I was like,
no one's making a big deal of it.
Just ignoring that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ricochet kicks down Morrison and then snaps the drip stick in half. And then we go to the first match, Ricochet versus John Morrison.
Yeehaw, cowpokes. Anyone was wondering, I don't like these matches at all.
You see, I don't get what your standard is for these matches, because this was fun. Well,
They really have fun.
this one, what the fuck happened in this one? Yeah, this one was fun. I liked it. Definitely, it's not the best one we've seen of them, but because I think the last one was the best. This one was still fun.
I didn't think so. Also, I'm just not a big fan of John Morrison or Ricochet.
Oh, really? I think John Morrison's putting in the best work he's ever right now.
I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly. I just don't like them. Not that I don't like them. I just don't like watching them wrestle, and I don't know why. Like, there's something that causes me inherent malaise when I watch them, and maybe it's just because like they're very raw. They're meant for Raw. Can't imagine them on SmackDown.
Well, I mean, last time, like, we saw Miz and Morrison on SmackDown last year.
Yeah. It was last year. Different SmackDown. This is a new SmackDown. This is a SmackDown that doesn't have SmackDown karaoke.
Yeah. We'll see what they bring out for crowds. Return of SmackDown karaoke. Live in Houston, Texas. Also, Raw will be in Dallas, Texas, after Money in the Bank.
That's not next week, but the week after.
Correct.
I can't wait. Okay. Ricochet splashes Morrison in the corner, hits him with a spine buster, and then an elbow drop. John Morrison sends a big elbow to the face of Ricochet before he kicks him into the corner. Then catapults Ricochet into the bottom rope. But we get a flying head scissors to John. Ricochet slides out to attack him, but gets powerbombed into the barricade by John, who kind of hides behind the Miz's chair for a couple seconds. Once we come back from a commercial break, we are kicking Ricochet in the corner. There's a double stomp to the midsection of Ricochet, and then Morrison goes to kick Ricochet, but gets rolled up instead. There's a chop to the throat of John, and then a standing Spanish fly to Ricochet, which I will admit was actually very fucking cool. We then have a boot to the face of John in the corner, and then a double stomp to Mr. Morrison. Ricochet hits like kind of a nasty fucking tornado DDT, which required him to go over both of John's shoulders to maneuver it. I thought was weird. Weird in a good way. Like, would that be able to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Then have a big old lariat to John. Then hits Ricochet with the dripstick, and by that I mean like sprays him with it. Morrison takes control because of this. Takes Ricochet down by the leg, kicks him, goes for something along the lines of a double stomp to the face of Ricochet, but Ricochet dodges. He flies out on John, who's standing basically on the apron, which was kind of a fucked up move. Ricochet's lucky that John like caught him, saved both of their asses basically.
Yeah, it was a very weird. Ricochet definitely fucked something up on the crossbody. It looked like he wanted to do some kind of DDT or crossbody of some kind, but I don't think he got the right hand placement for it.
Yeah, something was just not all there.
He looked like he was scrambling for some kind of grip.
Yes, he did. And that grip ended up being John Morrison kind of cradling him.
Yeah.
And because this also hurts Ricochet, John gets back into the ring and Ricochet gets blocked from the ring by The Miz and is counted out for John to win the match.
Yes. Again, not as good as the last one, but I think the next week's match will be fantastic.
Depends what they do with it, in my opinion.
Mm.
Like sometimes falls count anywhere can just mean like ringside.
Yeah, but knowing these guys, these high flyers, they'll probably jump off some high shit. I'm excited.
Just jump off some high shit.
Yeah, like one of them will be like their ode to the, because that'll be the last show in the Thunderdome. They'll probably have like Ricochet jump off the roof of the Thunderdome, explosion happens, and then Raw ends. It only gets like 20 minutes in. It'll be great.
It sort of feels like we're like in like school and it's about to be let out for the summer because it's like, how are we gonna finish this off? Like we're almost done.
Yeah.
We've sat through the slog.
Yes, it has been a slog, but I do want to go on a tangent on this at some point later on, but I just of how much I've appreciated the Thunderdome era and just the pandemic era in general, and like just everyone, like them proving that wrestling cannot die no matter what. I don't know.
You plan these tangents.
Then we go to a promo of Jinder Mahal riding in on a motorcycle, meeting up with Shanky and Veer. Kevin walks in, gives him an interview, and Jinder says, "Me and Drew McIntyre were close friends. Drew was with me when I got my motorcycle to celebrate one of my championship defenses. I texted Drew to come ride with me. It took him 3 days to respond, and he didn't even, when he spelled 2, T-O-O, he wrote a number 2. Couldn't even find the time to type out T-O-O. So tonight I've demanded a match against Drew." He also said the reasoning for that is because Drew McIntyre took away his opportunity at Money in the Bank. I've always been better than him. And then we go to Nia, Shayna, and Reginald backstage. They're chatting. Reginald peeks around them and says, "Guys, Alexa Bliss is right there." Shayna, they both turn around and she's not there. Shayna says, "I've had it up to here with you. You're a mostly grown man, and you're screaming at shadows." Nia's like, all right, let's get together for this match and get on the same page. We then go to Nikki, Ash, Asuka, and Naomi and Gorilla. They're both complimenting Nikki. They're both complimenting Nikki on her new gear and her new gimmick. Nikki says, "Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, Asuka. But I'm not a superhero. I'm almost a superhero. I finally started to believe in myself, and I've never been more successful. And now I have a chance to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I know there are people out there who don't always have confidence, but if they believe in themselves, who knows what they could do." And Naomi says, "I'm glad you have this newfound confidence. I'm the one who's winning the contract." And Asuka says, "No, I'm gonna win." And can I be honest for a second? I know Nikki Ash is meant for kids. It's meant to get a huge pop from the children in the audience, and definitely gonna sell a lot of action figures. But it's so cheesy.
So let me counter that point with, they only do this shit when like you know it's gonna sell in a demographic, and their demographic that is buying shit is not gonna be appealing to that.
You sure?
Their
Kids?
demographic is pretty much, yeah, no. Their demographic is more along the lines of people our age, probably about 40.
I don't know.
Not children.
I think they will be getting a lot of sales for those Nikki Ash toys, but I guess we'll see.
Let me say this. Karrion Kross, you better be fucking worth it.
No. He's gonna be on main event. All I can say. He's gonna immediately go to main event.
Please stop.
especially if he doesn't have Scarlett. Scarlett's gonna be thriving on whatever brand she's on, cause she is great. Cross, no, he's got nothing.
I know. I don't even like him, but it's just like I want that fresh blood.
Yeah. Excited to see Scarlett in the main roster though. She's going solo. She's gonna be great.
Getting like her fucking kicks where she deserves them.
She's like the good Supernatural, where she's like supernatural but like mysterious, unlike Alexa Bliss.
So let's be honest, Scarlett is allegedly as bad as Carrion. So
I'm not talking about like personally. I'm talking about like skills on the mic and in the ring.
I would like to see wrestling.
You like to see Scarlett wrestling?
Yeah.
From what I've heard, she's
Her
really fun to
style.
watch.
You know what her style is?
No, but I'm excited to see it.
I feel like because I've seen her so much like on Carrion's arm that I cannot imagine her wrestling.
Love to see her wrestle Rhea Ripley.
I'd love to see the inevitable interaction between Damien and Carrion. Like Carrion shows up and he's like, "Hey," Damien's like, "Fuck."
Or Karrion and Finn, because they're both gonna be on the main roster.
Oh my god, wait. So you were saying this to me, but you had a theory for the final.
Yeah, because Money in the Bank, SmackDown wise, they're having Seth and Cesaro. They have 2 spots left. Seth and Cesaro will fill one of those spots. The third one, they haven't announced another match. They haven't announced a last chance qualifier. Now there would be one more episode before Money in the Bank for them to do a last chance qualifier. But I mean, who would be in that? Paulo, Sammy, and either Cesaro or Seth. Not really anyone that would get a huge pop from being like the last one. I think Finn will be that last spot. Whether it's him being announced for the last spot, which probably won't happen because they haven't been doing that for the men side. Probably be him surprise having a qualifying match or taking out someone. I don't know. SmackDown can get pretty creative when it wants to be, so
I thought about it. And the more I think about it, the more that like it could just be a pipe dream at this point. But if Finn were to go to the main roster, they probably wouldn't change his gimmick because it's Finn Balor.
Yeah, his gimmick wasn't really niche at all.
So then there's no reason to keep him off TV so people forget him.
Right.
So I was like, maybe that makes sense.
I think they just want to pop from him appearing.
I know that he's like in Ireland enjoying life for like a little bit, but like,
isn't he back? I thought he was back.
I don't
know.
Let's see if Instagram will tell us anything.
Yeah. But yeah. I'm hoping that especially since he's been making posts with Shinsuke a lot. He's probably going to SmackDown, I would hope.
I have to imagine.
Alright, so after that, I don't know how we started talking about that, but we then have Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, Naomi and Asuka versus Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Eva Marie, and Piper Niven.
Oh my god, I don't really care about this match at all. This was bad. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Talk about it. So we start with Naomi versus Piper. But like Eva's like, I'm gonna tag in. We also realized why he has this horrifying lack of facial expressions. I think it's the Botox. Eva Marie, this is not a judgment on her. Maybe it is. It's not meant to be. You ever watch her face? There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No expression. Unless she's not looking at people. She's like, got kind of something going on. And there's a crick in my neck. But I think it's that.
Yeah, like there's Botox in and of itself it's whatever. It's fine, but there's bad Botox.
Get it for it. I get it.
There's bad Botox.
And it's not even bad Botox. I mean, there is bad Botox. This is not what I would call bad Botox. I just call this too much. Like, there's something's not connecting anymore. So, listen, I'd get Botox any goddamn day of the week.
But to her credit, she has been working that heel game on Twitter really well. Have you seen some of the stuff she tweeted?
I have not seen her Twitter whatsoever.
Let me pull up one of the most recent tweets that she made. She said, with my wins on Raw, I have, as SK Wrestling, I think it's Sportskeeda Wrestling, has correctly reported, with my wins on Raw, I have more victories in 2021 than Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Trish Stratus, Lita, and Mae Young combined. Hashtag WWE Hall of Fame 2022. She knows her character. And like she's rolling with it.
Is a don't tread on me type of person. However, if I look in that gray area between person and wrestler, I know that this is just the writing. I have to treat her the same way that I would treat Drew. It's like it's just the fucking writing that like is so bad. It is not doing her favors.
The storyline is pretty garbo, even though Vince for some reason likes it.
Vince probably thinks that body shaming's hilarious.
But Eva has been doing a pretty good job with promos and her character. And I do like that they're working in the fact that she's like not good at wrestling. Although I brought up this question while we were watching it. Why, like in kayfabe, if she is not much of a wrestler, why is she wrestling? Why is she in WWE? You know? Like if she's trying to avoid it at all costs, why? Do something else. Anything.
Get a new hobby.
Like, fucking, should be good at modeling. Fucking anything.
Yeah, I think my thing is that like I don't think that she's good at delivering promos though, which is the other problem because it's like, well, if you're not gonna wrestle, you're just gonna deliver half-baked promos, then it's like, well, what am I here for?
I'm just giving her credit on her character work, because she knows her character, which is more than you can say for a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay, let's fucking talk about this match, huh? So Piper is immediately tagged out because Eva tags in off of her. Eva shoves Naomi, and then Naomi gets up. Eva immediately tags Piper back in. Naomi drop kicks Piper off the apron. She dives out onto Nia and Shayna. We get a hip attack from Asuka off the apron to Piper. Nikki then dives out onto Piper after Eva dodges that hit. Then Eva gets into the ring, like, and safety, I guess. Alexa Bliss just screams at her. For the first and only fucking time. I was like, yeah, actually, Alexa Bliss, you kind of got a point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is fine. We then have a commercial break. When we come back, it's Bliss versus Piper. Bliss kicks Piper. Nikki gets in. Piper throws her. Still gets hit by a drop kick. Asuka gets in off of that. Nia gets in. Nia and Piper splash Asuka or sandwich Asuka between the two of them. Shayna gets in off that. Nia holds Asuka. Shayna punches her. Shayna then starts twisting Asuka's leg and falls with it. It's taunting the other team. Eva gets in, although Shayna wanted Nia, and for a second, I was like, there was something about that moment that like I really liked. Like, is that a bee cricket?
A what?
I'm probably gonna have to kill a bug in a couple seconds. I like this for now. But I liked it because it was like Shayna clearly wanted to tag Nia in, and when she wasn't given the opportunity, she was like, "What the fuck? Like, this was meant for my tag team partner." Anywho, so Eva's in. She kicks Asuka. Nia gets in. There's a spinebuster to Asuka. Nia takes Nikki off the apron. She headbutts Asuka, and then Bliss starts being weird, entrancing Reginald. Shayna then just tosses Alexa Bliss to kind of get things back to normal. Nia throws Asuka into the corner. But in doing that, Asuka ends up taking Piper off the apron. Nia runs at Asuka, but Asuka dodges her. Nia ends up running into the post and hitting Shayna off the apron. Eva then gets in. Just fuck all. Shayna gets in. There's an armbar on Shayna that Shayna reverses into an armbar of her own, but Asuka stacks her, so she kicks out. Naomi gets in. She dropkicks Shayna and Asuka. She dropkicks Shayna. Asuka takes Shayna down. At this point, I have no fucking clue who the fuck is the legal man. Piper interferes. Nikki then interferes. Eva interferes. Nikki was actually the legal man. I didn't know that in the moment. Nia gets in, and Nikki avoids the Samoan drop once, but cannot second time. And Nia wins for her team. And then Eva Marie essentially signs her death warrant by taking the microphone and saying the winner is Eva Marie. And Nia Jax, God bless her soul, made the funniest fucking face.
Yeah. Nia Jax did a really good job in this match. Not even just like from her wrestling, but she nailed a gnarly Samoan drop, but just her facial expressions. When she was getting the pin, she like stuck her tongue out and winked at the camera. You never see her do that. And then her, just how she looked at Eva Marie. Please, for the love of God, get Nia and Shayna away from Alexa Bliss. Give Alexa a real feud. Give Nia and Shayna a real feud. It's what they deserve.
Like, also, it's what we deserve as people that have tag teams.
Yeah.
The entirety. WWE is one of the most prolific wrestling promotions in the world. They have on their main roster, in the tag team title scene, teams. And in total, 3 teams?
It depends if you consider Natty and Tamina on Raw or SmackDown.
I'm just considering the entirety of the main roster.
So 3. Yeah.
That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Pitiful.
Yeah. But hopefully they'll bring a lot more women up to the main roster.
They're gonna need it.
Alright, so then we have Bobby Lashley and MVP in an interview. Kevin comes into their suite. MVP yells at him and says, "How do you get in here every week? Next time you want an interview, make an appointment." We made a tag team match because Woods doesn't deserve to be in the ring with the Almighty. Standing in this man's corner has been one of the highest honors. Kofi disrespected the Almighty. Bobby takes the mic and says, I eviscerated Drew and Woods, so I decided to take a vacation. I'll put the New Day on a permanent vacation. Kofi called me soft last week. There is not a soft bone in my body. It's good. It's a good thing.
Like for the best.
I'm going to end Kofi's little Money in the Bank pipe dreams. I'm going to hurt him. We are the Hurt Business. And business is booming. I'm really hoping that like the one prediction that I heard is true for Money in the Bank, which is that Big E wins the briefcase, and after Kofi loses against Bobby, Big E cashes in and beats Bobby. That would get a massive pop.
Be really cool.
Yeah.
Interleague play.
Plus they did say they were gonna bring Big E back with the New Day.
I'm excited to see what the draft brings us this year.
Probably more heartbreak.
Oh, there's no more tag teams besides the New Day, so they can't really hurt us that much more, can they?
Break up Lucha House Party.
Please stop. They would. They would.
Yeah. Break up Natty and Tamina.
Just like, oh man, we have too many women's tag teams. We've got 3 of them. Fuck.
Like at the draft, they fire Naomi. They're like, and going on no brands is Naomi.
There's literally like a new like. They include NXT in the call-ups.
Mm-hmm.
They also have a releases.
Yeah, it's just the trash can.
And the first round release is a joke, but also how far off are we from that?
Alright, so after that we get a surprising little match. Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor.
It was the match we deserved as good Raw patrons.
It was a fantastic match that pushed ahead a story, had great character work, and also opens up to a future match or possibly a tag team. The possibilities are they're limited, but they're limitless.
Don't bring up Keith Lee like this.
Bask in his glory.
We're never gonna hear it again.
Oh.
I know we aren't.
We will. We'll hear it at Money in the Bank. What if Keith Lee is the last entrant? There's no big guys in Money in the Bank. You had a big guy last year. That was Otis. You had no one this time. Maybe Drew. You need a big guy. A guy who can just topple the ladder just by walking into it. And Keith.
I don't know. I feel like we're like thinking like such big things for this last entrant. It's just gonna be something disappointing.
It's gonna be like fucking Shane Thorne.
Fucking like Kevin Owens or some shit. Oh wait, no, Kevin Owens is already in.
Yeah. He's gonna be in it and then taking a long ass break.
I hope.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's gonna take a long ass break and then he'll be back the week after.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's talk about this match. So Mustafa begins by twisting Mansoor's arm. I abbreviated Mansoor to Bam. I know that's already gonna fuck me up because I have not had to take notes on Mansoor ever. So that's gonna be a problem.
You mean you didn't last week when he was in the Battle Royal?
I did. That was probably one note.
You didn't the weeks that he was fighting Sheamus?
I guess maybe I have taken notes on him. Yeah. Mansoor. Oh, it just looks like it. The way it reads when you're just looking as twisting man's arm. Who is? So Mustafa starts by twisting Mansoor's arm. Mansoor reverses, does the same to Mustafa. Get a shoulder tackle to Mansoor, and then like I don't know how to describe this. Like a fucking pop-up arm drag takedown right into a chinlock submission hold on Mustafa, which turns into a side face lock, which Mansoor breaks free from, hits Ali with a back elbow, and then fucking screams at Mustafa. Okay, screams is not the right word. Yells. He's like, basically, like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he basically said something along the lines of, like, this is what you get. Fucking around with me too much. Mansoor knocks Mustafa down with some lariats, hits an inverted atomic drop right into a spine buster. The look on Mustafa's face when Mansoor did this was fucking golden. So good.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, he gets lifted up, he's like, goes step up insecurity to Ali, and then Ali gets tangled in the ropes. It's all tangled up in them. And Mansoor helps him free of the ropes. Mansoor has not learned his fucking lesson yet. Ali gets back in there and he gets freed. Ref is checking on him. Mansoor checks on him. Mustafa was fucking scheming. Rolls Mansoor up. Wins. And, maybe this time Mansoor will learn. As Mustafa said, no point in taking the high road. And I said, you know, buddy, you got a point. Whoops. That's all I got for you.
Yeah. It was a short match, but it all fit character. It all fit well. And it leads to the future. Then
it's an exciting future.
Yeah. Because this is a well-utilized undercard right here.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because people like me who did not watch 205 Live, I've not seen that much of Mansoor. Outside of like what I saw in older stuff. So, yeah. Really excited.
After that, we had an interview with Drew McIntyre. He says, I heard about the text messages before. Nothing is given around here. And then he talks about the fucking opportunity that Jinder mentioned. He said, nothing is given around here. Everything is earned. My sword, for example, it means the absolute world to me. This sword is in fact made from a tooth of the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie used to terrorize the local town. A Scottish warrior stepped up. Knew it was going to be a showdown. He claymored the tooth right out of her mouth. And then fucking forged the sword out of the tooth. And that's it. Then we go to Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal.
I'm loving Drew's fucking stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about half the time.
Yeah.
Oh man, wasn't this like the marathon? Yeah, this was the marathon of Elizabeth having fucking fun. So, get a shoulder tackle to Jinder. Jinder starts stomping on Drew. Drew gets whipped into the buckles, but bounces off of them and hits Jinder with a lariat. And then they're fighting so much that Rod Zapata has to break them the fuck up. And I was like, Rod, you're so small, buddy. Jinder hits Drew with a suplex, and then Drew hits Jinder with a suplex. Drew's then slammed into the announce desk. We get a pump knee strike to McIntyre. Drew gets whipped into the buckles and then clotheslined. Let me clarify. Drew to Jinder hits a clothesline, then a suplex, then a suplex, and then a neck breaker. And a future shock DDT. And then fucking Dilsher Shanky. Shanky comes in, attacks Drew. DQs the match. And Veer at that point is just like, well, fuck. I mean, nothing to lose. He comes in. He also beats up Drew. Jinder hits a super kick to the jaw of Drew for good measure, throws him into the post, and then hits him with the Colossus. Like that. What this means? An extended feud. And then, top it all off, the cherry on top, takes Drew's sword.
Watch next week. They completely forget any of this happened, and Drew just has a
This is good.
sword.
Drew's like, I spoke to Jinder and he gave it back to me.
Yeah.
It was a title.
I texted him back after 3 days and asked nicely. I spelled Too this time. Alright, so then we get an interview with a New Day. I think it was Kevin asked them if they would change up their strategy for the match tonight. And Kofi says, why would we adjust our strategy? When they challenged us to a tag team match, we accepted, because that is what we do. They're trying to compensate for those truth bombs. What I said hit really close to home. Wood said, MVP said I wouldn't show up to work this week, but I went to hell and back against Bobby Lashley, and here I am. Once we are at Money in the Bank, they're going to see Kofi become the new WWE champ. Kofi says, when I was WWE champion, I proved anything is possible, and I'm about to prove it again. I've been putting in the work. MVP and Bobby can do whatever they want after Money in the Bank, take as many vacations as they want. Bobby's champion services will no longer be required. And then we get Mason T-Bar versus Lucha House Party. And Lindsay debuting his fantastic new gear, which is an ode to Kane.
Lindsay Dorado ruined my life challenge. So we have T-Bar versus Lindsay to start. There's a flying head scissors to T-Bar and then boots to the face of him. And then Lindsay goes off the top, buckles right into T-Bar's arms. T-Bar knees Lindsay in the side, hurls him over the ropes, kicks Grand Metalik off the apron, gets Mason. Mace whips Lindsay into the announce desk, and then we get back in the ring. Mace starts slamming Lindsay into the ground. T-Bar gets in. There's a boot to the face of Lindsay, but T-Bar can't get the pin. There's an elbow drop with a little spring off the ropes to Lindsay. Dorado kicks out for the second time. He drop kicks Mace. Can't tag out, though. Mace takes Grand Metalik off the apron to take that option out of the picture. T-Bar gets in. And as they are going for the team choke slam, Grand Metalik drop kicks Mace and T-Bar, then flies out onto Mace. Lindsay hits a Hurricane Rana on T-Bar and wins.
Poison Rana.
Yeah, it was nasty. Go. I was shocked.
What are you doing? Nothing? What are you doing?
A cat.
Oh, okay. You seem very distracted. Was that the end of the match?
Yeah. This was laying next to me and then she left.
After that, we had Riddle and Damian Priest backstage. Riddle's fucking with his toes on his injured foot. Damian Priest walks in and says, "You good? Saw that nasty fall." Riddle says, "Dude, I've fallen from higher heights." And he just tells a story about some pool where he fell, and he said, "Worst summer of my life." Priest said, "Not sure what that has to do with tonight, but if something goes wrong with AJ, that'll ruin your chances of Money in the Bank." Riddle says, "I'm going to show AJ and everyone else that I'm going to do it with the 3 most dangerous letters in the WWE. RK Bro." He walks off, and Priest is like, RKBRO. Wow.
I discussed Damian Priest's look tonight.
He had a nice shirt.
He was looking fantastic. Would love to see him,
Wrestle.
in the fucking ring.
Yep. But then we get AJ Styles versus Riddle.
Yes. And this was where the fun stopped for Elizabeth.
I don't know. I enjoyed this match until the shitty ending.
I'll tell you why I didn't like this match, but I'll tell you at the end. We can armbar on AJ, who grabs the rope immediately, starts breaking the literal knee of Riddle. Riddle goes to attack AJ in the corner, but AJ stomps on Riddle's injured foot. AJ is then wrenching the foot in a heel hook. He gets sent out of the ring, though, gets kicked in the stomach with the injured foot. Which is, I'll discuss it later, part of the reason why I fucking hated this. Mm-hmm. There's a dragon screw to Riddle through the ropes, though. Both men get back into the ring, and Riddle is like full Karate Kid. And manages to kick AJ in the face. It's a gut wrench suplex, and then a series of strikes to AJ to take him down. AJ then stomps Riddle's foot again, hits him with another dragon screw. And while AJ is arguing with a referee, Omos takes the legs of Riddle out from under him. We get a chop block to Riddle and a good old ankle lock on Riddle, who rolls AJ out. And by that I mean flings him with his legs. AJ wants the calf crusher, but instead gets a knee to the jaw. He goes for the phenomenal forearms, but Riddle shakes the top rope. Riddle then goes up top to moonsault onto AJ. AJ moves. Riddle lands on his feet. Riddle then lifts AJ up in a fireman's carry, but can't maintain it. AJ, however, gets him up on his shoulders. Instead, slams him into the ground. And then Viking Raiders come out. They intimidate Omos. For some reason. The elephant and the mouse. And AJ can't get the Styles Clash because he's distracted, and Riddle rolls him up instead. And now, here's the thing that I fucking hated about this match. Riddle is not good at selling an injury throughout a match.
Oh, I thought he did a good job.
There were so many times where he was, like, just walking on it normally. Like, walking on the injured foot normally. And I was like... And then, like, there were so many times that he... And this is the thing that I hate about Riddle. Outside of, you know, external reasons, I cannot stand that Riddle doesn't seem to want to sell stuff. And by that I mean, like, sometimes he gets hit with things that, like, I think should hurt him more than they do because they hurt other people more than Riddle reacts. And, like, Riddle would, like, kick with his injured foot and just, like, kind of, like, not sell it at all. And I was like, but that's supposed to fucking hurt you. Every time that is supposed to hurt you, and you're only doing it sometimes.
I disagree with that, because when he did the crane kick and he landed on his injured foot, he was like cradling that thing for a little bit, and
it was one thing though.
For most of the episode, he was limping on that foot whenever he walked on it.
Right, but there were times where he would kick with that foot and not sell the pain at all.
It might have cut away from him, because I remember I was looking for that, and I saw him do it a lot. Saw him selling it.
I mean, you can say that they cut away, but they didn't. I watched it.
Okay. Well, I thought differently.
I just didn't like it. I thought that he did a really bad job of that.
Okay. I'd like to see you do better.
Ow. I mean, yeah, he kicked AJ in the stomach as AJ was trying to climb back into the ring. He didn't sell it at all. I remember because I specifically wrote, kicked in the stomach with the injured foot, ? Sticking to kayfabe, I see. No. Now, I personally cannot do that, and that is why I'm not a fucking wrestler.
Okay. Why'd you just flash your leg in front of the camera?
To remind people I have one.
Okay. After that, we had Charlotte Flair's medical update. She comes out with a crutch. Looking all sad. She said, "I know it's shocking to see me like this. The NBA has been in turmoil with top stars being injured. But more importantly, I might miss Money in the Bank. Because the Nightmare is so scared that she's resorting to using my moves. I'd be scared to defend against me too. Honestly, I couldn't do it better myself. It's genius. If there was somebody better than me, what would I do? Except nobody's better than Charlotte Flair." Rhea Ripley comes out. She's got a crutch as well and is limping, limps her way into the ring. Charlotte said, "You're taking my entrance as well." Rhea said, "I did exactly what you would have done, which is exactly what I am doing right now. I see right through you. I know that you're just being a little drama queen." They both throw away their crutches and they start having a little crutch fight. Rhea snaps a crutch in half and Charlotte runs out. And then we go to, I don't know if you probably don't want to talk about this match, Elias and Cedric Alexander versus Jackson Ryker and R-Truth. If you want, I can talk about it.
Go for it. I'm not going to.
So we start the match, and immediately the Akira Tozawa runs out, followed by the 24/7. Oh no, Akira Tozawa runs out. R-Truth tries to pin him to get the 24/7 title, and Tozawa kicks out. The rest of the 24/7 scene runs out. They're chasing Tozawa,
including Shelton Benjamin.
Yep. Truth follows them. He's out of the match. Cedric and Ryker are in the ring and they go at it for a little bit. Cedric wants to tag in to Elias, or tag out to Elias. Ryker wants Elias in. Elias backs out, leaves the match, and now it's just Cedric and Ryker together in the ring. Ryker does some finishing move, I guess. Looked like a sidewalk slam, and that was it. Then we had MVP and Bobby Lashley backstage. Bobby's doing pull-ups. MVP says to Kevin, "Does that look like a man who's lost his edge to you?" And then we stick with a close-up on Bobby's face for like good solid 15 seconds.
Yeah, that was nice.
And finally, the main event, The New Day versus MVP and Bobby Lashley.
Oh. All right. So we start with Xavier versus MVP. There's a punch under the arm of Xavier. MVP then shoves Xavier, but Xavier hits a chop block to the front of MVP's leg. Kofi gets in, goes off the top rope, stomping down onto MVP's leg before getting him into a single chicken wing sub. But Kofi gets slammed downwards. Bobby gets in, the shoulder tackle on Kofi, and some shoulders to the midsection in the corner, and then hits Kofi with a neck breaker. Kofi pushes Bobby down, hits him with a big boot. Bobby, however, still manages to pick Kofi up and spike him into the fucking mat. MVP gets in, there's a vertical suplex, but Kofi fights out of it, accidentally kicks the Money in the Bank briefcase for the women's match. I thought it was very funny, because, not something that they take into account when they're hanging those briefcases.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, the briefcases are not higher than MVP plus Kofi's height. Minus a head, it would seem. But Kofi fights out of it, drop kicks MVP into the buckles. Xavier gets in, starts stomping MVP. Kofi gets back in. He is slung into MVP by Xavier whilst drop kicking him. MVP is then sent ringside. Bobby goes to examine the situation, I guess. I don't know why he comes around. And he gets drop kicked through the ropes by Kofi. Xavier then flies out onto Bobby. I believe that we went to commercial break. We had Bobby in versus Xavier. There was a shoulder tackle to Xavier and a snap suplex. Lashley starts grinding a knee into Xavier's face. MVP gets in. He punches Xavier. There's the ball and elbow drop, which was just and a jawbreaker to MVP afterwards. Kofi gets in, goes off the top rope onto MVP, and then takes Lashley off the apron. MVP slows Kofi's momentum with a MVP slows Kofi's momentum with a body shot. Goes to flip him, but Kofi lands on his feet, drop kicks MVP, hits him with a mule kick, and then does bone drop, but does the ball in motion. It's like, God, you petty little fuck, I love you. Lashley then tries to distract, but Kofi super kicks him. MVP then takes advantage of this distraction, though, by flattening Kofi. Lashley gets in, obliterates Kofi, takes Xavier off the ringside. MVP gets back in, but we get a Trouble in Paradise to Lashley, and Xavier goes off the stairs onto Lashley, who is now ringside. And then MVP goes for the Playmaker, but Kofi escapes, hits him with the Trouble in Paradise to win. Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite match.
Huh?
My favorite match.
You said your favorite match?
Not my favorite match, not.
Okay. I was gonna say this wasn't my favorite either. Yeah, it wasn't great. But the alternative would have been another, because what they're originally planning was another singles match between Xavier and Bobby, and that would not have been as good as a Hell in a Cell match. Alright. So that's Raw. You want to move on to our bests of the night?
What?
God, I don't even know what I want to pick for this. Because there's so much here. But we start off with Miz TV. That was chaotic. There was a ton going on. I did not like it. I did not like Miz TV.
I did not either. But that's because I really don't like Miz TV as it is.
We had Jinder riding in on his motorcycle. That was fun. It was funny. We had Nia, Sheena, and Reginald backstage. Whatever. Nikki, Asuka, and Naomi and Gorilla. Ridiculous. Bobby Lashley and MVP being interviewed in the suite. It's good for MVP. I feel like Bobby was not great in this promo. Saying like he got mad that Kofi called him soft. Like, this is 2021. Relax, my dude. We then had an interview with Drew McIntyre. God, I don't know what the fuck he was talking about, but I do understand his gimmick now. After that promo, I get it. The whole Scottish background is what makes him strong.
Yeah.
Then we had an interview with the New Day that was really well delivered. I mean, the New Day are constantly amazing on the mic, so what else can you expect? Then we had Riddle and Damian Priest backstage. That was whatever. Charlotte Flair's medical update was lame as shit. None of it made sense. And then MVP and Bobby, well, Bobby's doing pull-ups. Whatever. I'm gonna go with the New Day. New Days felt sincere. Felt like they gave us new stuff.
I'll go with that.
Cool.
I feel like the New Day always has a way of and maybe it's just experience, but they're just so good at talking.
Yeah, they're so charismatic.
That's the easiest way I can put it.
Alright, so Wrestler of the Night. First up was Ricochet versus John Morrison. I'm giving that match to John Morrison. The way he saved that botch from Ricochet was well done. Plus, he's just such a pleasure to watch in the ring that it's hard to beat. Plus, he's extremely charismatic. Then we had the 8-woman tag match. One with Nia Jax, purely based off of her expressions in the match. She brought a good counter personality to the match, you know. After that was Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor. I'll go with Mansoor. Mansoor was fantastic. He gave off some great offense and then showed off his character extremely well. Same with Mustafa. It's hard to decide between the two, but I think Mansoor really like it's very evident that he genuinely cares about Mustafa. And it's rare to find that.
I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to be really fun thing, and I think that's great that we've got this like the storyline that has nothing to do with a fucking title.
Yeah.
That's something Raw is not doing.
Yeah. Then we had Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. I'm going with Drew. He was more fun to watch. I mean his what do you call it? It's not a back body drop. Maybe it is a back body drop. Where somebody runs at him and he just hurls them over him. It's always so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Then we had Lindsay Dorado. Oh, wow. Okay. Lucha House Party versus Mason T-Bar. I'm going with Lindsay Dorado.
You know what's funny?
Hmm.
I was typing out my notes because I taped the heading to every match.
Hmm.
I went to go write Lucha House Party, and instead I wrote Lindsay Dorado. So I'm sorry, Grand Metal League. Once again, we failed you.
Oh. But, yeah. Lindsay was my pick for this match. He's so fun to watch. His new gear is incredible. And, that I'm gonna call it a Poison Rana to finish off the match was fantastic.
I don't think they get a lot of Ranas up in Raw. I don't think they would have known the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or felt the need to point out the difference.
Mm-hmm. Plus, sorry, didn't mean to say plus. Up next, we have Riddle versus AJ Styles. I'm gonna go with Riddle. Because like I said, I liked how he sold his injury. But also AJ did feel a little flat today. Normally he's he's one of my favorites to watch, but today he was fine. He was alright.
So, this is sort of how I feel with like certain wrestlers like John and Ricochet. I don't feel like I get a lot out of them. I felt that way more so in the last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of wondering if it's like kind of a vague sort of senioritis sense where it's like they're gonna be out of the Thunderdome soon. I think there's a chance they're just phoning it in, some of them.
I feel like Shayna's doing that.
I think that a lot of them are just like, this will be over soon, and then I'll actually like give a fuck.
Yeah, maybe. After that, we had Riker and Truth versus Elias and Alexander. Guess I'll go with Cedric. I don't know. This wasn't a wrestling match. Then we had the New Day versus MVP and Bobby Lashley, and I'm gonna go with Kofi Kingston. It was great to watch. It's fun. And then the way he mocked MVP's ball and elbow was so good. It was wonderful. But for the wrestler of the night, I'll go with Mansoor.
I was really hoping you would say that.
I mean, who else
I'm
am I
gonna
gonna
also
pick?
say that. Imagine if I was like, because I'm not gonna say that. Oh, that's also my pick. I would have gone with either Mustafa or Mansoor because they were both good at wrestling and good at character work in their matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't need a promo to tell me how I should feel about this. I think that's inadvertently sort of a testament to the fact that all of their promos lately been off screen, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And can we just discuss the promo that they did show us? I guess was on the WWE Network. Where Mansoor was talking to Mustafa, Mustafa basically was like, I'm trying to teach you this so you don't end up like me. And I was like,
Yeah.
shit. So
So,
that's all I had to say.
no match of the night.
I think I know what's gonna happen here, but I'm
I'm
gonna wait.
I'm gonna do match of the night a little differently. I'm gonna do it differently from now
Ooh.
on. Instead of going in order, from start to finish, I'm gonna go in order of my least favorite to my favorite.
Ooh, okay, so it's like I'm waiting to hear the winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So my starting from the bottom was Elias and Cedric Alexander versus Jackson Riker and R-Truth.
It's valid.
Was not even a match. Was not. Proved once again that the 24/7 scene is awful. Next up, the 8-woman tag match between Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, Asuka Naomi versus Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Eva Marie, and 2Drop. Both of these came in at 2. I'm doing a scale of 1 to 10 now for matches instead of 1 to 5, and this was a 2. Both of these were a 2. This was not a fun match at all to watch in the slightest. Storylines did kind of get through, but they're not good storylines. Then at 4 stars, got Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. It wasn't a very fun match to even begin with, and then to add in the DQ finish just made it worse. But it wasn't boring. Next up,
I have to disagree. I thought it was a fun match to start with because I was excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of bummed by the DQ finish. But I think the one silver lining we can get out of the DQ finish is that this will be a feud that they continue on with.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Now there are 4 matches that come in at 5 out of 10. First up is the New Day versus MVP and Bobby Lashley. I thought this match was very underwhelming for these 4, given that all of them are capable of putting on an amazing match. This was fine. Next is AJ Styles versus Riddle. I thought it was a really fun match throughout, but the finish was wonky. Didn't feel in character for AJ at all, and just ended in a roll-up. A distracted roll-up. After that, we had Mason T-Bar versus Lucha House Party, again at 5 out of 10. It was fine. It was a fine match. I feel like these guys need more time. Lucha House Party barely gave any offense, but it was the winning offense that they gave.
I liked. It felt there's something about the crowd noise, the way that they did Lindsay kicking out.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really enjoyed.
Mm.
It was like they did this thing where it was like got quieter. I thought that was kind of cool because it was like, oh, what the fuck just happened?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's I gotta say there.
After that, we had Ricochet versus John Morrison, also coming in at 5 out of 10. It was a good match, not the best one we've seen of them. It was fine. Yeah, not a whole lot of substance to it. And then, finally, the number 1 pick, coming in at 6 out of 10. Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor. I thought this was a really fun match. That the only thing that would have made it better was make it longer. But I have hope that we will get a longer match between these two. if not a tag team.
I agree. This match was exciting. This match had character work. This match had convincing emotion. I really love this match. It is not my bias.
Cool. So to run it back, promo of the night, the New Day interview, wrestler of the night, Mansoor. Match of the night, Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor. All right. So, questions? You want to answer some questions real quick?
We have some questions, yeah.
We do have some questions. I'll go to YouTube first. Milam asked a non-wrestling question and asked about an update on the horror movie. At midnight. So, I will probably be tweeting about this, but we decided to cancel production of it and delay it indefinitely. So we'll be giving out refunds from the Kickstarter, or the Indiegogo rather, and we'll be waiting until we're ready to do it again. Want to make something perfect. But yeah, I'll be talking on Twitter about it soon. Alright, then Miriam also has a question in the chat. She says, do you guys think they'll debut any of the called up NXT talent at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, or do you think they'll wait for weekly episodes of Raw or SmackDown? I think they'll wait till SummerSlam. SummerSlam for Karrion and Scarlett. Probably the episode after Money in the Bank for, say, Bronson. Bronson seems like he's making the fast track. Oh, maybe Bronson is who they're planning for the last spot in Money in the Bank.
It's possible. I wouldn't be shocked if Finn comes through for this. In some respect.
Do you think he'll debut at Money in the Bank?
Or I will also hold out hope on Keith Lee. Try.
I don't think they would make a debut at a pay-per-view. I think they would wait until the episode after, or the one before.
But one thing that like crowds fucking love is a surprise entrance.
Right, and they could still get that the episode after. But like, it's a way to spice up a regular episode rather than put all your eggs in one basket.
I just think that they'll probably do something to like kind of like that spark.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked if it were somebody debuting for Raw, because I think that's where they need the spark the most.
Right. I don't think, like, say Becky Lynch, for example, I don't think she'd be debuting at Money in the Bank. Because where would she debut? Like, she wouldn't be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. She's too main event for that. She'd probably come in, probably the episode before.
I cannot believe we have to watch an actual ladder match this year.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks.
But going back to the question though, Finn. Do you think Finn would debut at Money in the Bank?
I think somebody will. I really do.
Maybe. I could see how this could go. The last spot's filled by whoever the fuck. They do last chance qualifier or whatever. I think Jinder takes out one guy in the ladder match. Or before the ladder match. And he's like, alright, you can put me in. I was your alternate. And Pierce is like, we'll figure it out. We'll let you know what we decide. And then they get to the final participant at the pay-per-view. Where would be whoever comes out, Finn Balor.
It's a possibility.
They could say, now on SmackDown, Finn Balor, you know?
Definitely, I do really think that we're going to get somebody going out at Money in the Bank. Because that's going to be a massive pop for whoever it the fuck is.
I don't know. I'm torn on it. I think they'll save their massive pops for somebody cashing in that night.
Because think of it this way. They're guaranteed to sell a lot of fucking tickets for a pay-per-view over selling a lot of tickets for a appearance in a city or something.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to use that moment where they've got the tickets sold to kind of push their brand, basically, lack of a better term. I think that they're definitely going to do something that's going to make us be like, oh, fuck. I really do think that that's going to be something.
The only reason I see them doing it the episode before is it would make people buy tickets for the pay-per-view and pay for the pay-per-view. Whereas if they do it at the pay-per-view, the tickets are already sold. What are you going to do?
But, think of it this way. You do it at the pay-per-view, then people are like, fuck, I want to see that person. They buy all the tickets for whatever fucking show they're on.
That's when they do the NXT thing, is tease them at the pay-per-view. And then they debut the next episode.
But one thing we can't do in the crowd era that worked really well in the non-crowd era is commercial teasers. It's harder to do that during a live pay-per-view with people.
Let's take the charging bit for example. I think there's a way to do that would be good with a crowd. Just think, like, we come back from commercial, lights all go out, and you just see on the jumbo the charging logo flashing. Lights come back.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it.
I think that we're getting past that point. I think that we're still gonna get those, but I think I feel it in my bones that we're gonna get something big at Money in the Bank. Really do.
I think we might get Becky Lynch, but I don't think we'll get any NXT people debuting at Money in the Bank. I think Bronson Reed will be one of the last people, but I think they'll save their big return pop for Becky Lynch.
I can see that.
I think that's why they didn't do a big one for Zelina Vega, because they wanted the real surprise return to be Becky.
Now we're all thinking like, well, I wonder who's gonna be next because we just got Zelina. Yeah.
Yeah. But she won't be in the ladder match. I can almost guarantee that. She's too big for that. It's like stuffing Charlotte Flair in there.
I'm wondering, because I feel like Becky's gonna go to SmackDown, so I'm wondering if they're gonna do anything where it's like follow up on like her interaction with Asuka.
They could do something where, well, if Asuka still had the belt, it would make sense, but not anymore now that Rhea has it. But would love to see a Bayley Becky Lynch feud.
We all would.
She just comes in while Seth is being a fucking psychopath and is like, "The fuck are you doing? You're a father now. Stop it."
Bayley versus Bianca.
It's possible.
No, not there. Not there though. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Bayley's definitely losing, so she's probably going to Raw.
Bayley's probably going to Raw after her comments. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how they could debut Finn too. besides have Jinder attack someone, and then they promise to bring someone in to replace, and then it's Finn.
No, because Finn, I feel like, is the same way as Becky, where it's like, I don't think that they would throw him into the mid-card scene.
I disagree because Kevin Owens was just in the main card. I think it's different for men because there's so many more. Kevin Owens was just in the Universal Championship, several Universal Championship matches. Drew McIntyre as well. And Finn has proven to be amazing in ladder matches or in Money in the Bank matches.
Is there only one women's slot left to fill?
Two women, 2 men. One of the women's gonna be Liv Morgan.
Who's the other one gonna be?
Mia Yim. Ruby Riot's brought back.
Stop. I'd cry. Like a good way.
The men, I don't know. One of them's gonna be Seth. Seth is definitely getting in there. And he's gonna get the briefcase. He's gonna cash in on Roman and Edge. And then probably like Bronson Reed or something. What are you doing? We gotta close out the podcast.
I heard a noise by the window.
It's me. You want to close out the podcast?
I would like to. If you joined us today, thank you so much. And if you join us in the future, thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow night for Great American Bash. Maybe I'll wear my dog shirt then. Actually, it's gonna be just as hot tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be 95 tomorrow.
Maybe I'll suffer for America.
Enough people do.
But yeah, we will be back live tomorrow for Great American Bash. Hopefully, we will be talking about LA Knight dropping the $1 million championship belt. Anyways,
What?
my bias is out of it.
What'd you say?
I'm shitting on the dummy man.
Are you shitting on LA Knight, dummy?
Yeah. That's what Ted would have wanted. That's literally how I live my life. I have like a little bracelet that says WWTD. What would Ted do? Anyways, so please join us tomorrow night. It'll be fun. It'll be NXT. It'll be tolerable and even more fun than tonight was. So join us. I'll be there.
Yeah. Tomorrow for NXT Great American Bash. I can almost guarantee it'll be better than today. Follow us, subscribe, all that jazz. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. Subscribe there. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I am at the Mark Cameron, and Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you on tomorrow for NXT Great American Bash. Have a nice night, and we'll see you then.